Joining us here on the Rich Eisen Show is a guy who we saw on the field before the game is with a bunch of returning Super Bowl MVPs. We'll chat about that. He also watched Roger Craig go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. The 49ers had a nice moment about that. He is a Hall of Famer and one of our favorites, Steve Young, back here on the program. How you doing, Steve? Good to see you.
What's up, Steve?
Sorry I missed you last week, man. What a buzzsaw that was.
All good. No,
I apologize.
What are you apologizing for? I'm thrilled to have you here. What did you see watching Super Bowl 60 last night, Steve?
Kind of like it went chalk on my mind. Like the only thing I thought, how do I put it? The Patriots had run last place schedule. You said they played who they played, so it's fine. And the AFC has not a ton of, Texans and the Broncos. I just didn't feel like they'd run into someone like the Seattle Seahawks. And the Seahawks, look, the way the NFL works today is that it kind of grows on you, right? Like with the team that you see in Halloween is kind of not the team that you see at Thanksgiving. And then even at Christmas, you're like, wow. And that's what happened with the Seahawks. They just got better and better and better. And by the end of it, when they played the 49ers, for the bye week to get the bye, I watching them in person, I'm like, man, these guys are killers, and they're killers because they're smothering defense. It's not, they don't take huge risks. They kind of just smother you, but then they can bring four and put the pressure on you. So it's like the best of both things. So then I thought against the Patriots, they saw a little bit against the Broncos, and I saw them struggle against the Texans. I was like, this could be really hard to score 17. And as they kick field goals, I'm like, look, you guys just keep hanging around. They're going to give them a chance to come back and win. So I think the Patriots, the Seahawks in many ways gave them a ton of opportunities to stay in a game that they were out of. But I feel like the feeling of the game was exactly what I thought it would be, is that's how good the Seahawks are right now. And then you wonder how good can they get, because they're just kind of figuring it out right now.
Well, obviously, being a quarterback-driven league, the question is what happens with Sam Darnold from here? Now that he's gotten, I guess, to borrow a phrase, even though it's total apples and oranges in terms of what the monkey on the back for you meant and what he's been dealing with since he was the third overall pick and has gone now to 5 different teams. But now he's got a ring. He's got a ring. He's got a championship. He's got the experience.
The story feels familiar. Like it's just like it's an odyssey. It's not a straight line. And he found finally the fruit of the most innovative minds in football today. The coaching trees of Andy Reid and Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay, and once you find those guys, the clouds part and the sun comes out. And he found that in San Francisco 3 years ago. Then he went to Minnesota, same kind of fruit of the tree again, and then obviously in the Seahawks. Now the Seahawks aren't, they've gotten their guy, right? Because Sam is figuring it out too. Like, wow, how good could I be? How good could I really? And I don't think he had to be great yesterday just because the defense was so great, but that's okay. He's been great before. And I think he's proven himself. Look, I can hang with the big boys. I can run around a little bit, get the extra yards. I can throw it all over the field. And he settled down. He made a lot of mistakes this year and still survived it. So those are all scars that are going to pay huge dividends in the future. And as he refines his game, Sam, anyone who wants to try to think that Sam Darnold, I think he's just going to continue to improve and somebody that the Seahawks, I think, have a guy for now the next 10 years. I think they'd be fools not to. Minnesota must be dying right now. Like, what did we do? What are we doing? We had a guy that won 14 games and won the locker room, and that locker room loves Sam Darnold. He was the man. Like, see you later, bro. That's got to be hard. But Seattle's not that though. They got a guy now for 10 years, and if they can, I just feel like who's going to beat those guys in the future? Jeez.
Well, you also won a boat race Super Bowl coming on, causing a national conversation to be had about the NFC Championship game was the de facto Super Bowl. And Sam Darnold in the final 2 games against the Rams, the playoff game, and then certainly in fourth quarter and overtime of the Week 16, they got past arguably their toughest opponent within their conference and division thanks to Sam Darnold's arm.
Right.
And 100%.
Rich, I think we really stop now, right? Let's not. It's not recency bias. It's not something that you can't see coming. Sam was drafted where he was because of his talent and who he could be. He couldn't find that measure. And you look, he'll own it. You got to own it. But he was in some terrible places for quarterback. And then he got the help that he needed. Every quarterback, we were talking about last night in that room with Joe and Tom, and we were just kind of hanging out before we went out, just like how much help you need to be great. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. Like, it's not an alone game. And so in that way, to really find the full measure of yourself, you got to find the partnerships. And when he found them, he thrived. He thrived. So that's Sam Darnold. That's who he is. That's who he's going to be as long as all of us receive the partnerships that make a difference in the NFL. So anyone that wants to try to define Sam any other way than somebody who's ascending to be one of the top quarterbacks in the league is just wrong and wasting their breath. Like, why, all you could say is, look, Sam's got to clean up the mistakes. Yeah, he's a little of a riverboat gambler. And, oh yeah, I think that was Patrick Mahomes in 19 and 20. Yeah, I think and then what did Patrick do? He kind of like refined it and cleaned it up and had the opportunity and the support. Yeah, look what happened to him. Like, that's it. Otherwise, Sam, I mean, Rich, I want you to just hang up on everyone else. Just hang up. I don't even want to have a conversation about it.
All right, Steve Young. I was going to follow up on other questions about Super Bowl 60, which I hope to be able to do later on in this conversation. But you're like, okay, so I'm sitting around with Joe Montana and Tom Brady talking about quarterbacking, what it takes to succeed, which I want to be a fly on the wall in that conversation. Please. So I know that the league had a bunch of Super Bowl MVPs returning for Super Bowl 60, similar to what happened at Super Bowl 50 in San Francisco. And all right, so you're in the room waiting beforehand to go on the stage with Green Day. I mean, like what and you're having
Green Day was warming up in the tunnel.
Okay.
So yeah, they were doing their own thing, which is, I mean, that's a Bay Area icon.
Right.
So when we walked out and saw him, I mean, you think about Tom growing up right here down the street, and everyone knows in San Mateo, and Joe and I have been here for a long time. It's like, and then you get Green Day out there, like it was all of that, right? So it's like, Bay Area. So that was fun to see that. But in the room, just got chopping it up around the game today, and the people who are thriving, and and again, we were just talking about what you need, and the support, and then how much the game how fun it would be to play today. And Tom was talking about that. He's many times said to me, the difference between before they changed the rules for launching your body towards defenders and before, it's just changed the game, made the field bigger, right? It made a Canadian League field because defenders couldn't control the way they'd done before. And he said, it's so much fun because the flats are always open. The middle of the field is uncontrolled. The middle of the field used to be a death zone, right? And people would just get yourself killed in there. And now it's unpatrolled, and no one can hit me. And I'm overstating it. But so we were just talking about where it was and where it was going, where it's been, and now where it is today, and how much fun it would be to play today, just as a quarterback, especially if you learned in the more sophisticated era. You're like, man. And so we're just chopping up around what it used to be like, what it is today, and the NFL, and the people that support you, and coaches, the great coaches that are around, and then really just no one's perfect, right? The coach, we were talking about Bill Walsh and some of the stuff he was doing. I was like, yeah, and then plus he pissed me off about this and that. So it's like it's a fun conversation of real openness around relationships and things that you would have been, any football fan would have loved to. It would have been like a dream to just sit there, because we're talking about all the stuff that you wonder about and think about, and it's fun. We rarely get with people that understand what you've been through. And when we're together, that's the 4 or 5 people alive that understand what your life is like, and it's fun to have those moments.
Yeah, and look at the running back and 2 wideouts for you guys, for you quarterbacks. Look at that, Swan and Rice out wide, and Emmett behind you. You know what I mean?
Great, and it was all of that, and that was funny because we were all taking pictures of all the quarterbacks, and Jerry goes, you guys can't do it alone. You guys know that, right? He's.
Is that what happened? Is that why you all got together in one shot?
That's
really?
What we were. Well, no. The first shot, I give Tom credit for bringing us together. It's like, let's get some pictures. Like, all right, cool, let's do it. So we got the pictures, and then it was like, let's get some pictures all the quarterbacks got together, and then that's when Jerry's like, you can't do it alone. And we're like, yeah, bro, that's for sure. That's the fun about football. That's the amazing thing about football is that there's too many guys. It's insane. The idea that you can put 22 on a field and find some, beautiful choreography and detail and dance step and timing and do it, like, it's kind of amazing. And so I think that's why football is so much fun to talk about, because it's irrational that you got that many guys out there ramming into each other and you can come up with something that's beautiful. And that's what we're kind of celebrating in many ways.
Yeah, and connected, right? And connected. And that's what we saw from Seattle, right? Yeah, certainly with that defense. It's got to be connected, back end, front end, side to side. And you say that really, like, Drake Maye had nowhere to go. He had nowhere to go, Steve. He had nowhere to
happens. Go. The Seattle defense is built kind of like it's like, if you want to score, you're going to have to put 15 plays together and be very patient, and we're going to slow you down and make you be really efficient. But then they bring 4 with pressure. And so now you're like, yeah, I got to be patient because there's not much happening out there. That guys aren't just roaming free. And now I'm like always ducking and diving, trying to throw for the 3-yard check down. And so it really puts you in a place where you just takes the air out of you. And that's what happened. And they had nowhere to go. I mean, they had 1 first down in the first half. I mean, where does that happen? I mean, you have to be either a real terrible team or playing somebody who's amazing. And I think it was the latter, right? You're playing someone who's amazing.
Yeah, no question about it. So, Steve Young, a few minutes left here on the Rich Eisen Show after Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara. What advice would you give Drake Maye, sir? Clearly a guy who uses his legs, also has a beautiful touch, great deep throw ability, and clearly has his life together when not playing football. What advice do you give this kid after what you just saw in Super Bowl 60, Steve?
Drake is all of that. I mean, he's all of it. I think he was hurt. Even during the first half, I'm like, something's not right. So that happens a lot towards the end of the season. Something can go a little haywire. It's like you're not like hurt, but you're like, hey, I'm not myself. And so there's part of that too that you have to just kind of own, right? It's like I just wasn't 100%. And then just everything he learned this season, including the Super Bowl, he's now seen it. He's now seen, the killer teams that are like, he went to Denver, like he saw it. He played Seattle, like I've seen it. And with that knowledge, there's a sharpening of the saw that happens. Like I'm a pretty good player. I'm young. I'm trying to figure it out. But now I know. Now you can't, there's no more learning. I can make mistakes and learn from those, but there's no more, I don't need to see anything else. I've seen it. I've experienced it. I've viscerally felt it. I've been there, and now I want back, and now we know what Dan Marino happened is you don't get back. And so you just got to, we recognize that doesn't always happen, but as far as where he is as a player, as a second-year guy, you couldn't be in a better place. Now, did it go perfectly? No, but let's stand back and hang up on anybody who wants to take a piece of Drake Maye right now. What are you, nuts? Kid's got to, he's nothing. Talk about ascending, and you're like, well, what about they ran into a buzzsaw? Trust me, it happens. And so Drake Maye is one of those guys now. And the thing that I think what makes him really built for 2026 and onward is that he can run around and spit out 70, 80 yards. And that's part of his game. And I think that's why those are the guys that run the table. And I think Drake's put himself start in the conversation to be where I said 4 years ago, the next 10 years is going to be Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes. They're just going to run in a circle. And I didn't realize it was going to be just Patrick. But I think Drake can now join that. Justin Herbert might, with Mike McDaniel, might join, right? And like he now can find the sun's going to part. The clouds are going to part. The sun's going to come out for him too. So there's 4 or 5 guys in the AFC that are going to be kind of battling each other for the next 10 years about who goes to the Super Bowl, which is it's tough.
No doubt. Before I let you go, Steve Young, the people that I saw in Santa Clara and San Francisco living their best lives are anybody who roots for the Seahawks, anybody who plays for the Seahawks, and Roger Craig. He seems to be living his best life Steve, finally getting the call to join you and so many other 49er greats in the hall. And I would love to give you the floor on seeing that, Steve.
Roger, I've never seen Roger without a smile on his face, even in pain. I mean, he's the kind of guy that just reflexively is joyful. And so then this is for as a player, the ultimate joy is to be recognized in that way. And so that's like, I don't know, you just described it as like joyful square. I'm not really sure how you talk about that, but that's who Roger is right now. And remember going back, the game today, Christian McCaffrey, and back a few years ago, Marshall Faulk, as the game changed and transitioned, the running back position changed, and there were pioneers for that. And Roger Craig was the pioneer. Roger Craig was the one that showed the future. Hey, this is who you need to be great. And I think that's a heck of a statement for somebody. And he's in the Hall of Fame because you can't write the book about the NFL's arc, especially the running back position, without talking about the pioneers of the game. And so he was that guy, thousand receiver and runner. But as a person, Rich, it's the people. It's like, again, I'm with the guys last night, before we went out. Just the people, it's the relationships. It's watching people thrive and excel, yet be kind and good and human and real and I love Roger for that. And I couldn't have hugged him harder than when I saw him yesterday at the game.
Right, and the Bill Walsh system, right? He perfect, just a perfect marriage.
Well, that's the thing. Like in 1980, that's when it changed. That's when Bill came in with an offense that was 3 generations ahead of everybody. It was a tactical advantage all the way until he handed it to Mike Holmgren and Mike Shannon when they left town with it. And then they came back and then it started to spread around the league. But Roger was the guy that was the epitome of what Bill was the genius, right? He's the one, okay, how do I do this? Who are the kind of people that I need? It's like, oh, Roger Craig is one of those pieces for how this is going to work. And so, it showed everybody this is what the future looks like. And you watch Roger Craig highlights, you're like, oh, yeah, he could play today like nothing. And that's not true for a lot of guys.
Yeah, no doubt. And I don't want to be too, I guess, piggish with your time here. One last one for you, Steve, is your 2 cents offered to the San Francisco 49ers front office coaching staff about what to do to get back to the promised land is what?
Yeah. Well, the biggest challenge is, right, all politics are local. It's like looking at your division and you're like, Matthew Stafford's coming back. They're going to reload and they're already kind of made the transition. We're in that transition period where we need 5 to 10 rookie contracted stars, like people who are above average in the league in different positions. And we have the makings for this year's draft classes, but we have maybe some guys growing into it, and then we need more. And then if we get that, we have we have the pillars of people that are not too old, that can still thrive, that can lead us there, as long as they stay healthy. But we just have to find those, because that's what Seattle's done, right? That's what the Rams have done. And within Puka Nacua shows up, right? We need kind of all pros to show up out of the draft, kind of unexpectedly. And I think because we have the superstructure, we have the leadership, we have the coaching, we have the innovation, we have the ownership. We are built for it to be in the mix. We will be in the mix, Rich. No matter what, we will be in the mix. But to take it away from everybody, we're gonna need those rookie contracted guys to come in and be great. And we look forward to that.
Well, Steve, thanks for the time here, day after a great week, man, in the Bay Area. The weather was great, obviously, during the first few days when we were there, but it was awesome. San Francisco was just beautiful and a great time. The red carpet rolled out. Just an awesome week for the Bay Area, Steve.
It was beautiful weather. I mean, people around the country are freezing their butts off, right? I feel terrible about the weather that's happened all over the country. You tune in, and it reminded me when I was growing up in Connecticut.
Watching the Rose Bowl, right? Watching the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, watch the Rose Bowl. And I'm like, and the cheerleaders, and I'm like, where is that? What am I doing here? And I had that same feeling yesterday when they won. You're watching the pregame and you're around the country, you're like, Where is this Mars?
It's,
What is this place for you? This beautiful place. It's like, yeah, that's winter, man. It's
right.
killing us right now. We're dying out here in the winter. And it was all of that. The Bay Area thrived. We killed it this week. Killed it. It was awesome.
Can confirm it. Can confirm it. I was growing up in Staten Island, New York, Steve, watching the Rose Bowl, seeing that Chamber of Commerce, blue sky, and I'm like, where is that place? I've got to get there. I've got to see what it's like.
You see cheerleaders, you're like, what am I
doing? Right. You know what? And I was just saying to my kids and anybody who will listen, there is nothing like a football game, big time football game, Rose Bowl, College Bowl game, obviously a Super Bowl in California played outdoors, where it starts in the sunlight, and then at halftime, like a movie theater or a play, the lights go down, and now the drama's about to hit, and the second half's in darkness. There's nothing like it, Steve. Nothing.
I am so with you, Rich. I had the same. You and I have viscerally the same reaction yesterday. And it was all of that. It was all of that. Look, the drama was defensive drama, right? It was like it was just smothering. Like it was a different kind of feel. Yeah. But there was still the drama of it. And then because the Seahawks didn't pull away, you're like, is this another Tom Brady and the Falcon thing? Is this like some weird thing going to happen? But alas, no. Steve,
you're the best, man. I'll reach out to you over the next couple of weeks because I'd love to know what you think of Mendoza and other guys that are up or anything you want to talk about. I love talking ball with you, and I really appreciate you doing this after the Super Bowl, buddy.
Great. I'm so happy we connected, buddy.
Thanks. You too. Right back at you. That's a 3-time Super Bowl champ, Pro Football Hall of Famer, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Young here on The Rich Eisen. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.